My favorite scripture, Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart and lean not into thine own understanding, but in all thy ways acknowledge him, and he will direct thy path. If you've ever been to a point where you feel like he's not directing your path, check and see if you've actually acknowledged him. Sometimes we flow in our, once we get on autopilot in our relationship with Christ, going to church, listening to gospel music, and, listening to the clips that we listen to on, social media. We feel like we got our Jesus fix, but not really dedicating time to spend with the Lord. Sometimes where your guidance is coming from is not from God. And so we have to be intentional about making sure that we are in the word and finding out, what does the word say about my life, my decisions, my identity, who I am and how I am. It cannot just flow and go. You have to make sure that you're consulting God and getting in the word to find out what he says to you about you, because what he says to your neighbor may not be the same message for you. And a lot of times we take other people's messages, and so we're trying to figure out, why do I feel lost? Why do I feel out of sorts and out of control? And most times we need to go back to the beginning. Go back to your knees and spend time in prayer so the Lord can really guide your life. Well, you say, Erica, I've been praying and I've been doing this, but you have to find out somewhere where the error is, because God has 3 answers: yes, no, and wait. Are you being impatient? Is this what you're praying for and asking for, not what God has for you? Or maybe it's just not what he has for you yet. So learn to be patient in your process. Make sure that you are combing over your life. Listen, I remember when that scripture came alive for me. It was at a crazy time in my life where I needed to make a big life decision. And I knew that if I trusted in God beyond how I felt, and I felt horrible, and I felt sad, and I felt broken, and I felt out of control, like I didn't know what was going on with my life. But as I trusted God, and I said that scripture every day, sometimes even with tears in my eyes, Lord, you said, if I trust you with all my heart and I don't lean to my own understanding, but acknowledge you in all my ways, you direct my path. I need direction. And so for those of you who need direction today, declare the word. Declare that God is going to show me exactly where to go. And until he does, I'm still going to follow him and trust him. I'm going to keep moving forward. I'm going to keep serving. I'm going to keep praying, keep giving, keep being faithful in ministry, keep being faithful to my call until he shows me exactly what to do. I know God told Moses to get up and move to a place I will show you. He told him to move before he told him where to go, but he still had a responsibility to be obedient to the Father. And that's always the most important thing, being obedient to the voice of the Lord. You've got to make sure you're hearing it, though. You got to make sure that it's him you're hearing and not just your feelings and your flesh and what people said and God's message for that church and God's message for that person. What is God saying to you about you? Take the time to get used to hearing God's voice so you know it and you don't follow a stranger and you don't follow the whispers of the enemy, because the enemy is always whispering, but we don't have to follow him, especially when we are sure about the voice of the Lord speaking loud and clear in our ears. Okay, that is my Erica-ism for today. Love you, and I mean it.